Hi everyone, this is Gayle. Welcome tonight to my channel. We have got, already got Thomas Moore, P&L Railway is in. So hi Thomas. And we've got Living Healthy Over 60. So, hey Lori, good to see you both. Now I am a day late with this and I'm so sorry. I have got the craziest excuse ever. Y'all may have seen the video previously. So I'm going to get to that in a second. Y'all, if you have not already joined the channel, please click subscribe and follow along. Usually my videos relate to travel lifestyle and service dogs. So, click that subscribe button so you can follow our adventures. We never know what's going to happen. It's just kind of life as I live it. We definitely do have some travel videos that, are kind of in the normal, but then we have these odd things come up. Like yesterday, although it was not a travel video, it was just, you have to understand my life, right? Lori's followed me for a long time. I'm sure she understands exactly what I am talking about when you just have to understand my life. So tonight we're going to talk about that. And I've got a couple of Women's History Month trivia questions, just a couple of those. And it is Easter, so I thought in a little bit we would talk about that. So how does that sound? Does that sound great? Well, I hope so. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Yeah, usually we do this on Saturday evenings, but because of the flip-flop, here we are here on Sunday. And somebody last week suggested, or was it 2 weeks ago? No, I forgot. Anyway, someone suggested that I look at going back to Sunday nights with our regularly scheduled live stream. So let me know if that is something that you would be more interested in, whether it works out better on Saturday night or Sunday night for you. And if you've not joined our Facebook group, I am going to type that URL in right now so you can come join us over there too. All right, so we've got that. I'm Gayle Vlogs over there instead of at Be Bodacious. Excuse me. Be Bodacious was already taken by somebody else. So shame on them. Right. But there we go. That's just kind of the way it is. So, okay. First and foremost, Anne Laurie says, hi, Val. And that lets me know that Valerie Reese is in the house. And it's Valerie Reese, where it's all about the adventure. And she is either on or just got back from an adventure, from a cruise. So welcome. Okay, Lori's saying that Sunday works really well for her. So it's definitely something that we're going to keep in mind. I'm going to put down that you're better on Sunday. So that's one vote for Sunday. All right, that's awesome. Okay. We started out on Sundays and then we went to Saturdays. So we're just going to do whatever works best for everybody. That's the goal. All right. Oh, wow. Valerie just got home at 1 a.m. Woo! Are you even awake after getting home so early? Because it's not just getting home. You've got to unpack and everything too. Okay, and Valerie is another Sunday nighter. Okay, so something new. My mouse battery is wanting to die. That's not good. Stay alive, stay alive. Okay, all right. Okay, so we got her vote for Sunday, but gosh, getting home at 1 a.m., that's a wicked time to be home. But I'm glad you got home safely. And I'm glad you're here. Lots of great things. She said she slept in until 8 a.m. and didn't do much all day. Yeah, I would say not. It's going to take you some time to recover from that trip and from getting home at 1 a.m. So, but I am glad that you were able to take a break and take take the rest of today easy. This was a super busy day. A lot of people have a lot of family activities on Easter Sunday. Um, of course, we had church, and then unfortunately, we had a funeral this afternoon that my husband had to take care of after church. But we used to have like regular church stuff. One of the churches that we used to serve had a breakfast, sunrise service, followed by a breakfast. Then we would all go home and get dressed and get ready, and then get back to church for morning worship, and then have a big day of family activities, Easter egg hunt, lots of food, things like that. So typically it's a busy day since our kids are all grown up and gone away. We don't do as much, so there's no big prepping for Easter egg hunts and stuff like that. So, which is kind of both, good and a little bit sad. So, yeah. So, all right. So, y'all are not going to believe this. The crazy reason that we are live streaming tonight instead of last night is because yesterday morning we woke up to a deer carcass in our backyard, and my husband had to go off to work. So I'm like, you go on, you go to work, I'll take care of this while you're gone, right? And so in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I'll call the police. They'll come out and make their report because we live relatively near a nature preserve, which actually is a bear preserve. I shouldn't say nature, it's a bear preserve. So they like making sure that it's a coyote attack versus a bear attack. So I'll call and let them know. And it had all the markings of a coyote, not a bear. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, and they would suggest somebody that could come out and take care of it. And I would do all this and get it all done while my husband was at work. Why did I think it would be that easy? Why? So it wasn't. It took all day, and I was like calling people. So the police, they were like, okay, good, it's a coyote attack. There's nothing we need to do. And I'm like, well, who do you suggest that I get to come out and make this thing go away? And they're like, oh, no, we don't keep a list for that. Well, the place that we used to live, they kept lists. So, all right. So then I was told to call Wildlife Resources. I did. And guess what? Wildlife Resources, here at least, they're not open on the weekends. So all I could do was call and leave the number. In the meantime, I've got these remnants still in my yard. So then they were like, okay, they also said it was a landlord issue. So I'm calling the ones who take care of the house. It was just absolutely crazy. The part that really bothers me. Did I say really bothers me? Because it really bothers me. The deer. Now we have deer in our yard all the time. Okay, I don't mind it. Deer are nice. They're just calm, usually mild mannered. You have a few that like to throw themselves in front of your car and test your brakes, but we get that. It's a brake check. All right. But this deer was taken down about 10 paces from the back wall of my house. So the last thing I wanted to have happen was to have these remnants there and have the buffet line open for more coyotes to come and finish the job. Because, speaking of doing jobs, this also happens to be right next to where I take the dog so he can do his job, right? So I'm calling. I can't get anybody to come out and help me with it. And somebody said, well, can't you just go out and clean it up? And I'm like, well, here's the deal. I wear a leg brace, and I have to use a service dog to help me balance whenever I'm doing something kind of big. And I don't think I should take my service dog to help me clean up this mess that was left by coyotes. I just didn't see that ending well. Do you all? Can you imagine any scenario where taking my dog out to this is going to really work for me to clean it up? So anyway, hubby was gone. He did not get home until a little while after 6. And all of that brings me to this. So it was a little while after 6 before he got home. So he's like, okay, fine. He thanked me for trying, but we got to get this thing taken care of. And so bottom line is, a little after 7, I was helping trying to put this thing on the tarp so he could drag it further up the woods. And hopefully, animal control does not work on the weekends here. And not only that, but there's a question of whether or not they're going to come on private property. So we dragged the thing, put the thing on a tarp and dragged it up into the woods. And yeah, it was kind of anyway, we did that. And then hopefully animal control will come out Monday and we can take the thing and drag it from the woods back out to the street, or not back out, but out to the street. So in the meantime, I got to figure out, how do you keep coyotes away from coming around your house? Because I don't like the fact that he was so close, It's like, no. I don't want it that close. So any suggestions that you all have for keeping the coyote away from the house, I would really appreciate knowing. Really, really. So, yeah. So let me know. If you're seeing this on the replay later, leave me a comment to tell me what you think, okay? And if you're here now, just go ahead and type it in the chat room because I have no clue. If it had been, up in the woods, this whole thing would have made more sense to me. But literally 10 paces from the back wall of my house makes me a little nervous. It also tells me that quite possibly this critter is used to being around humans, which is troubling. They've got rules here like no composting, don't feed wild animals, keep your trash up, and it all exists for a reason. So we don't have coyotes and bears and raccoons and other critters running around, right? So, yeah, any suggestions, let me know. I think maybe motion sensor lights. We have a couple up, but I'm thinking maybe more motion sensor lights might startle the coyotes. I don't know. What do y'all think? Okay, Valerie Reese also lives in a menagerie. She says we got bears, coyotes, fox, and other animals around us also. And it's kind of neat to have them around, isn't it? So, the big thing is when they cause trouble like this, and we had more variety at the previous place that we lived, but we never had anything up right up next to the house. One night we had one kind of close, but he was farther away. And we had Tomlin, and he was a much bigger dog, and he did stay out sometimes on the tie-out cable. So we had this 50-foot tie-out cable, and one night a coyote came in our yard, and that's as close as it came. He kind of went way over the top with that. But that was also the kind of thing where the coyote came, he paused, and he just goes, trekking right on down the road. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Valerie, do you have any suggestions? Because let me know. Because the only thing, literally the only thing I can think of is maybe more motion sensor lights. It's the only thing I can come up with. Hey, over 50 is in the house. Hi, Lynn. Right here. Says, welcome to the Be Bodacious live stream broadcast. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel if this is your first visit. Thank you. Yay! Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And let's see, Valerie is saying, I've seen a bear and a couple of fox. We have deer in the yard all the time. I saw 2 down the street when I came home at 1 a.m. this morning. Yeah, deer are so cool. I mean, they don't bother anything. They just come and chew on the grass. And now they do also get into the neighbor's garden, but it's the neighbor. I love our neighbor, but basically deer, they don't cause trouble, unlike some other critters. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. So, now I hadn't thought about the high pitch animal sensors. Oh, you don't think they work well? Valerie's saying they have motion sensors and high pitch animal sensors, but she doesn't think they work very well. Okay. Well, that's good and bad. I'm sorry that you don't think they work well, but thank you for your experience, because you may have saved me some money. So thank you for that. Hopefully you won't have this problem. Like, hopefully nobody has this problem. Not up close to the house. No. Hey, look at this. Look at this. Okay, you all. Thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you. She sent me a $3 super sticker. I almost messed up there. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That helps a lot. So, all right. So, bless you. And Living Healthy Over 60 says, I can't believe you live near wildlife as well, Val. We had deer in Northern California, but they were sweet. Yeah, deer are sweet. I mean, they just come. They don't cause any problems. They just come. They munch, or they'll walk through the yard. Sometimes you'll see them with their babies. So, yeah, but coyotes are different. They're awful. They are awful. And I want to put that up there for another minute because I really appreciate that. So, yeah. All right. So today is Easter, and it's also the last day of Women's History Month, which is March. And I have a couple of live stream questions. I was going to ask you all trivia. And since it is tonight, I got a couple of them for us. I'm just going to go ahead and use them, even though it is the very last night. So, okay. Here is a question for you. A quote. I want you to tell me who said these quotes, all right? This is for bragging rights, not prizes. Okay. So, the question isn't who is going to let me. It's who is going to stop me. I'm going to put that in the chat box. Don't worry. Here we go. The question isn't who's going to let me. It's who is going to stop me. And it is Ayn Rand. And her main character, Howard Rourke, attended a school called the Stanton Institute of Technology to learn about architecture. He refused to follow the design. This is a book she wrote, by the way. He refused to follow design precepts that he considered anachronistic and wrong-headed, and he was expelled from the school for insubordination. And so her main character that she wrote gave us this. The question isn't who is going to let me, but who is going to stop me. And I kind of think that was a cool quote because, how many times do we stop ourselves? The question isn't who's going to let us, because we can give ourselves permission to do lots of things. And then we stop ourselves with the question is who's going to stop me. And so I wanted to bring this up because it is Women's History Month. And I wanted to talk about this last night because I want us to think about this. How often do we take our power when we're in these situations where maybe we're a little nervous and we're kind of questioning? We may have get that oomph moment where we know we can do something, and then we kick ourselves and kind of defeat whatever we're going to do before we even get started. I know I'm bad at that, and that's one of the reasons why this quote spoke to me, because I have to remember and remind myself that exactly what the quote says, that the question isn't who's going to let me, but who is going to stop me. Because when we think about this and we take ourselves out of the equation, there's nobody to stop us. You see what I'm saying? It's who's going to stop me? Nobody. So if you're trying to do something for yourself, to improve yourself or better yourself, then this is a good quote, I think, to remember, because it kind of reminds us to get ourselves out of the way so we can achieve and we can be. Does any of that make sense? Let me know. Tell me what you think. But that's why it spoke to me. The other is one of, I think, the most popular quotes ever done for women. And I also think it is possibly the most misattributed quote out there. So I'm going to ask you this, and on this one, I'm going to give you 3 choices, okay? The quote is, well-behaved women seldom make history. And sometimes you'll see it kind of misquoted, and it'll say, well-behaved women rarely make history, or well-behaved women don't make history. But the actual quote, well-behaved women seldom make history. So your choices are, who do you think said this? Eleanor Roosevelt, type this in, Mae West, or Laurel Ulrich? I'm going to give y'all just a second to think about it. Don't go look up the answers, okay? Don't do that. Just tell me what you think. Because this quote has been used so much. I mean, it's on t-shirts, it's on refrigerator magnets, it's on mugs. I mean, anything that you can think of, it's got this saying on it. Okay, we've got Valerie has heard it before. She says Mae West says it or said it. That was one of the choices, Mae West. I also gave you choices of Laurel Ulrich and Eleanor Roosevelt. So who said it? Hey, Peter Parker's in the house. Hey, Peter Parker. What happened last night got knocked down. No, I was, you just missed my whole long song and dance on it. Basically, we had a deer kill in the backyard that we had to deal with. Coyotes. What can I say? So if you've got any suggestions for how to keep coyotes away from your house, this one happened about 10 paces from the back wall of my house. So, like, literally, I stepped it off. Any suggestions? Let me know. Yeah, it was not a good moment, let me just say. All right, well, I had to look this one up because, like Valerie, I thought it was Mae West, which is why I tossed her in as a potential answer. And then I thought, well, if it's not Mae West, it's just about got to be Eleanor Roosevelt, right? Okay. Here we have Lori saying Eleanor. Well, I thought for sure it was one of those, right? So I got myself surprised. Here we go. Laurel Ulrich. Right there. And it turns out that this whole thing was an academic paper that she wrote, scholarly article, she says, about the funeral sermons of Christian women. And she said that well-behaved women seldom make history. And that is who wrote it. I was so surprised because, I never thought, never thought that that's who wrote it. But here it is. The Harvard Gazette itself has this article about who wrote it. So I'm going to put that link down there in case any of y'all want to go check this out. I'm going to put it in the chat box down here. So there we go. Peter got it. So there you are. The link is over here in the chat box. So, all right. Does that surprise you all? Because it did me. But Mae West does have another famous quote that could be attributed to her. And it's kind of risque because that's what Mae West did the best. Mae West was kind of out there, right? So, famous quote by Mae West is, "When I'm good, I'm very good, but when I'm bad, I'm even better." That's Mae West. So she got a pretty good quote out there too, right? So there we go. I was just so surprised. I thought that quote from Mae West about when I'm good, I'm very good, but when I'm bad, I'm better. I thought that was Marilyn Monroe. I was looking it up. I was like, that is so cool. But, what can I say? So, all right. So I got another one for you. Let me see here. Where did I just put this? Okay. I'm going to highlight this and put it in, and then I'm going to give you 3 options. Okay. So this is the quote. Who said the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams? Is it? I just misspelled this. Hold on. Is it Eleanor Roosevelt, Maya Angelou? Here we go. Or is it just unknown? Is it said a lot and attributed, but just nobody knows? Who do you think? The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. I've heard this. Of course, I've been looking at quotes, but I heard this quite some time ago, and I was like, oh, I like that. And I don't even remember how long ago it was, but it's been a long time. So I wasn't sure if it was actually said by somebody or if it's just kind of one of those general urban legend-ish quotes that's running around and that it's just kind of unknown. But tell me what you all think. Eleanor Roosevelt, Maya Angelou, or just generally unknown? So, gonna let the clock wind down here a second. Do-do-do-do. Okay, you all. The famous quote is by Eleanor Roosevelt. And I love this because, unknown. Nope. Eleanor Roosevelt. And I like that. It's kind of, if you can dream it, you can achieve it, kind of thing, which is what I thought this quote kind of went with. And that is, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. So if you dream something and you believe it, work for it, because that's who the future belongs to. Okay. So, yeah, I wanted to end this month on some very empowering, positive quotes. And yeah, I thought that would be, just the way to do it. So let me know what you think. But, this is the last day of Women's History Month. But as women, I think we need to always be aware of our history. And as men who are here and men who are listening, I think that it's important for you all to be aware of women's history also, because there have been certain times throughout history where women's contributions have kind of been erased. So, we want to give everybody a fair shot. So one of the contributions, let me pull this back up, because of course, with it being me, I accidentally closed the tab. But there is one that I wanted to bring up. Is kind of a case in history. And that is Catherine Wright. Now, I didn't know about her until I went and visited the the National Park over on the Outer Banks, the Wright Brothers National Memorial. Hey! There you go. Hey to you too. And I have to go for now, Gayle. Take care, everyone. Lynn, thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for the super sticker too. I really, really, really appreciate that. Someone right behind me looking through the window. Okay. Well, I will keep an eye on the window while I live stream. And if it is, we'll take care of that. Okay, so what's May 17th? I have to find out. If Thomas is excited, I have to know. So you tell me what's got you excited, and I'm going to share the screen right quick. Excuse me. Catherine, oh, you're the wrong day for April Fool. But, okay, haha. And that's, of course, Peter playing prank on me there. Catherine Wright says she played an important role in early U.S. aviation history, and that she was the younger sister to Orville and Wilbur Wright. And I didn't even know that there was a sister, much less involved with helping them in their development of the plane. I had no idea. So going out to the Wright Brothers Memorial, I find this out, and come to find out, she was the main caregiver of her family, starting from like the age of like teenagehood. Okay, wait a minute. I'm all around this here. Okay, this article says the age of 15. Because her mother died, or their mother died, and she is the one that primarily took care of everybody. She graduated from Oberlin College in 1898. Now, women generally weren't going to college around the 1900s, but she did, and she began working as a teacher. But she also did some other things off to the side and made other contributions. But she had a lot of influence and really helped a lot in the development of the aircraft. She was able, with her managing the household, Orville and Wilbur could do their bicycle shop and start their flight experiments. And then later, after Orville got injured, she was able to take a leave of absence to go take care of him and, get him back to health. But she never went back to teaching because she began working with her brothers in the development of the aircraft. And that's never been mentioned that I know of, at least until I went to the Wright Brothers Memorial. And I found out so much of history about just with traveling. Oh, you're going to Chattanooga. Yeah, you told me about that. I didn't realize it was May 17. That's cool. That's cool. April Fool early, Peter said. Ha ha. And he's going to go ride the Southern Railway number 4501. Such a cool thing that you get to do. And Busy Lady is in the house. Hey, Busy. Hey. And let's see. Thomas Morris says Southern Railway number 4501 is a 1917 282 Mikado, and it used to haul freight. You're going to have a fabulous time doing that. Absolutely fabulous. I hope you take lots of pictures and make some pretty cool video. And I'm going to type in, spell check keeps wanting to spell check this thing. Okay, I'm typing in Catherine Wright, but it's spelling it wrong. It's got an A in it instead of an E in the middle of it. So when you guys go, if you look her up and you get flagged for the spelling, that's why. It's not. I didn't want to keep arguing with the spell check. But anyway, she actually was huge in the development of the aircraft, worked with them in their bicycle shop, wound up bankrolling part of it. And really, it said that they couldn't have gotten this done were it not for her help. So definitely, check that out. Somerville, Georgia, right? I know exactly where that is. Cool. Now, Somerville is not the biggest place. It's tiny. I don't know if you are, if they've got a train depot that you're going to be stopping at, or if you're just going to be making a loop. I think it's a depot, isn't it? Like, don't they have like a historic train depot? Pretty sure they do. But that's one of the tiny towns that if it was in Tennessee, I would want to go try to highlight, because it used to be a train town. Like the whole town sprung up and developed because of the railroad. That's why it's there. And then the railroad left and the town just kind of went into a decline. Not that it was ever a huge town anyway. But Somerville is just one of those neat little historic places. And so what they've done is they have partnered with the TVRM, the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. Correct me if I'm wrong, Thomas. Okay, correct me, because this is all off the top of my head. But they partnered with them to offer the train rides. And yeah, it's a cute town. It's just really, really small. So if you go, check that out. I mean, I know Thomas is going, but if somebody else is listening to this, go check it out, because it is neat. Oh, they have a turntable. Okay, there you go. There you go. Have you been to Somerville yet? I know with your love of trains, you've probably been to Chattanooga to the TVRM. That is who they're partnering with, right? The TVRM. At least I think it is. If it's not, somebody let me know. Oh, you have not. Okay. All right. Well, it's a neat little town. They've got a nice little historic area, and I think the depot is like part of that historic area. So, I mean, it's not that it's a fancy place. It's not fancy at all. But the historic area is kind of neat, just to kind of walk through. There's some little restaurants and stuff like that. Now, over on the main highway, which I think is 27. Oh, I had to process that a minute. But over on the main highway, that's where most of the other restaurants and stuff are. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I hope you have a great time. You've never been on it? They're really nice there. They're really nice. It's easy to find. So yeah. And if you go to Chattanooga, if you've never been, if you go to Chattanooga, as you go down the interstate at exit, I think it's 5, you'll see this large park. It's like Southside Park or South something Park. And if you go in there, they actually, it's on the main road. You'll come to a couple of 4-way stops, and it's on the left. It's a ammunition magazine, which is basically it's just a big concrete cave. But that's where they used to have some of the ammunition, the explosives, and they've still got that written on the side or painted on the side of the wall. It's just really kind of neat. And that's part of some railroad history, even though it's not like railroad specific. They would load up, it's my understanding, they would load up the trains from the ammunition place and send them out. Missionary Ridge is a neat little place. It's not well known, okay, but it's I don't want to give away too much. But Missionary Ridge was important, like during the Civil War. And I believe it had some value, even like going back to colonial days. The train ride, it's not a super long train ride going through there. But it's well worth it. It's beautiful. You're going to like it, I think. But that's also a Tennessee Railway Museum thing. So, yeah. Have fun. And hopefully with it being mid-May, you'll have good weather and the wildflowers will be out. Mid-May is kind of a little dicey for that area just because it is the northern tip of, what they used to call Dixie Alley. I'm not really sure what they call it now. You heard it went through Lookout Mountain. The train, I don't know. That I don't remember. But it would make, given where Missionary Ridge is and where the tunnel is, it would make sense to me that it would go through Lookout Mountain. So are you going to be in Chattanooga for long? Are you going to do any other things other than the railroad? Because Chattanooga is a really cool town. And you should go to the Chattanooga Choo Choo, which is downtown. It's just kind of a neat place to walk around. Used to be a Holiday Inn, but they sold it a couple of years ago. I forget who's got it now. But it's a pretty neat place. Let me see if I can find who owns it right quick. I always feel like it takes me forever to look things up. Hotel residential experience. I don't see who owns it now. But it's a pretty neat place because Station Street's right there, of course. And there's a lot of neat shops there. But it used to be like the primary fixture of downtown. I think they still have, which is just kind of interesting, I think they still have a guitar museum in the building, a little one. But even if you don't do anything but just, kind of walk around the choo-choo, like there's gardens and stuff outside. It's kind of neat. But the main entryway Let's see if I have any photos of it. The main entryway is just pretty. And of course, it's down there by the aquarium and all that stuff. Let me see. Oh, and it's Enterprise South Park. I've got a picture of it. That's where the ammunitions place is. Okay, I don't see the picture I had inside the choo-choo. I don't see that right quick. I see the picture of the bunker. I can show you that. Let's see. Be in Chattanooga for 2 days. Are there any toy train shops, antique train shops? Not that I know of. Off the top of my head. Let me plow through my notes. There we are at the ammunitions bunker, right there, or magazine. I think of it as a bunker, but it's really, they call it a magazine, but it looks like a bunker. So, steel doors there. All right, let me see if I have anything in my notes. Like, I know there's an antique shop up on Lookout Mountain, and I think there's one also on Signal Mountain. The one on Lookout has a lot of Civil War stuff. I just don't know if it's actually like toy trains too. I'm plugging at my notes. Like, I make notes every freaking where that I've been, and I'm going to see if I made any kind of note about that. Nothing specific. Like, I've got Southside Antiques down as being cool, but I don't remember that. I'm sorry. I wish I had more for you, but that's what I got in my notes. And you can see that in here. I'm flipping pages. I was going to show you my notes, and I hit where I just did a search. Sorry about that. But I pulled it up, and I was going to show you where Southside Antiques is in relation to I can look. I don't think I do. But here is the Southside Antique Shop. So it's not too far from downtown and Lookout Mountain. Let me pull this. Okay, so it is right off of I-24. Now, I-24, I will tell you that if you go through Chattanooga at anywhere near rush hour and you go through I-24, it's going to be a mess because that's just the way it is. So I want to warn you about that. But if you're going through, like you have the Tennessee Aquarium there. So if you kind of go across town a little bit, this Highway 27 is like the road to Summerville, and the Southside Antique Shop is off of 17. So it's not far at all from the Highway 27. But I hope you have fun. I hope you take lots and lots of pictures. I hope your whole trip goes well. It's going to be exciting. But I would check out that Southside Antique Shop, and I would probably call them first. And the other one that I would call would be the one on Lookout Mountain. And I don't remember the name of it, and I don't see the name of it written down. So I'm sorry. But that would be the one I'd check. Okay. So, all right. So something else I wanted to do, today is Easter. And for those of us who are Christian, we kind of know what Easter is. But some people are not Christian who watch this channel. So what I want to do is just give you just like a brief synopsis so you'll have a better idea of what Easter is. Because I think it's important. I mean, I like for religions to understand each other. For me, one of the things I like about traveling is experiencing different things. And that is also, I like being exposed to different religions because it helps me understand mine a little better. And it helps me kind of come to terms with what I believe and why I believe it. And hopefully that makes sense. But Easter is a Christian holiday. It's a holy day. And some people say, depending on who you talk to, is it either the highest holiday or holy day or not? Because we have Easter, which is this both is just about Christ. It's about Jesus. And so we celebrate Christmas as his day of birth. So some people look at that as the highest holy day. Other people look at Easter as the highest holiday or holy day. I don't know why I keep saying holiday. It's a holy day. And that is, it's in the New Testament of the Bible. And what happened is we believe that Jesus took our sins upon himself and that he walked on the earth and he lived on the earth and that he was died by crucifixion. Pontius Pilate, and there's a whole lot that goes into that. Jesus was betrayed, handed over to church authorities who took him to Pilate. Pilate said he didn't have the authority to try Jesus, but he did anyway. Basically, there was the large crowd. It was Jesus and one other person. He was like, look, this is when we pardon criminals. So would you rather I pardon Jesus or would you rather I pardon Barabbas? And the crowds screamed, crucify him, meaning crucify Jesus. So on what we would call now Good Friday, he was crucified and put to death by the cross. We believe that he died to take our sins upon him and that he was resurrected 3 days later, and we call that Easter. I personally view it as our highest holy day in the Christian church. But like I said, some people do feel like Christmas is the highest holy day. Right before Easter, we have Lent, which is 40 days of preparation for Easter. So it's a time of reflection, a time of fasting and prayer to prepare us for the glory of the resurrected Christ. So Easter Sunday is kind of become a whole weekend now where there will be Easter egg hunts and parties and rabbits and bunnies and chicks. And the bunnies and the chicks are all, represent newness, the newness of life, the newness of spring. And that all gets tied up with Easter. But there's a lot of people who do an Easter basket. They'll go out, they'll hunt eggs and so forth without ever really fully understanding the religious aspect of Easter. And I think that as the world pushes forward, I think that all religions are kind of losing its significance in the modern world, if you will. And that's why I wanted to just take just a minute and talk about Easter and what it is. Because several years ago, I had the opportunity to talk to a group of children, and I asked them, this was a Christian organization, and I asked the children there, what is Easter? And they came up with 1,000,001 different answers, and none of them had to do with church. So remembering that's why I wanted to talk about that for just a minute today. So I hope that helps anybody who listens to this later to understand more about what Easter is. And that's the day of the resurrection. And so That's why churches do lots of different things. And if you're in the South, it's not uncommon to do what I talked about a little earlier, in that you'll have a sunrise, Sunday morning, Easter morning worship service, which often takes place in a cemetery, which is appropriate. And then they'll have an Easter Sunday breakfast, followed by, and that's when people go home and they get ready for the main church, which will be Sunday school. And sometimes during Sunday school, that's when they'll hide eggs, and some may do it, on Saturday. It just depends on, what that area wants to do. And have Sunday school, and then have the regular church service, usually around 10:30, 11. Some churches get started 11:15, and then have that main worship service. Most churches don't gather again in the evening, but a few will. But yeah, that's kind of how Easter is. So I hope that helps. So I want to thank everybody also for coming out tonight. Lynn, again, thank you for that super chat. Sorry about last night being so crazy. If you caught the first part of the live stream, if you listen to it later, then you'll hear me talking about the craziness of yesterday. So sorry about that, folks. But thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I have really appreciated everybody being here and participating. So I will see you. If nothing else really bizarre and really crazy happens, then I will see you Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and we'll talk a little bit more about whether we want the streams to be on Saturdays or Sundays, and I'll post something about that in the community tab too, so you can toss in your vote. So thanks again. You all go out, have a great week, and I'll see you on a couple of videos this week, and then Saturday night at 7:30. Good night, you all. Let's see. Yeah. Good night.